Good afternoon, Josie. Happy to
Hey,
have you
Nate.
here. How are you doing today?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Yeah, very grateful for this opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, I know on behalf of the AFO board and family, we are so humbled and honored to have you as this year's Hatfield recipient in 2021. And so, as we jump into this interview, we have a lot of audience tuning in that may or may not know you well. They might know you on paper, but have never seen you in this virtual space. So, I thought what we would start off with is just a quick introduction of who Josie is and what got you really into kind of design and architecture discipline.
Well, my name is Josymar Rodriguez. You can call me Josie. I came to the US a couple of years ago with the Fulbright scholarship to pursue my master in architecture. My undergrad is in architecture. To flip that question a little bit, why do I choose architecture to be like my career moving forward? For me, it's about how you can serve the others, how you can serve the community you're in. And I think architects sometimes are looked at or viewed as people doing pretty things or building pretty stuff. And is a lot more than that. Is more about giving a space and giving a voice to people that wants to build something better for themselves. I am from Venezuela, a small country in Latin America, and I came here to Oregon to U of O to do the master in architecture because they have a specialization right now called spatial justice, which for me was very, very interesting. It aligns really well with the work that I was doing previously in my country, and of course, with the work that I want to continue doing moving forward.
No, and what I hear you saying, which certainly resonates for me, is really being able to use architecture and design as a place to center a real a simple model of placemaking, community making, and really making sure that people with various lived experiences actually find value in centering place and community. So I think that is very important, and I'm glad you bring that up, which is our next question, which you submitted a very, very intriguing and compelling proposal. And can you kind of talk about the project that you submitted? Because many people's eyes just lit up because it did embody this kind of placemaking, this community making around your lived experience. So you want to kind of tell us in your own words what that project
Yeah,
was?
yeah, sure. So for the Hatfield scholarship, I talked about two projects, one in Venezuela and one here in the US. So Venezuela is a country going through a really deep crisis in many ways. Biggest issue now might be malnutrition for kids. So one of the projects that I'm most proud about to talk about is one that we did with an organization called Alimenta la Solidaridad, which translates to Feeding Solidarity. And this organization has a model where moms build community kitchens for around 50 to 100 kids. So they feed them daily. One of the mothers basically gives her kitchen and her space to build this operation, but it is so big in a sense that it spills out of the house to the street and to the like alleys. And so our proposal and what we built was basically trying to consolidate these dynamics and give them the space to actually feed the kids in a more dignified way, but also the opportunity to grow as a community. So a very simple project with like concrete benches, maybe a roof, a station to wash their hands. It was just super rewarding to see how the kids engaged with it and how with so limited resources we were able to create a space where the kids feel comfortable in, where they could play, where they could eat and be safe. So that was one of the projects that I talked about in the application. And the other one here in Portland was a project I did with the Clinton Foundation during the summer. So we all know what was going on during the summer last year, COVID-19, right? And I live in Old Town Chinatown here in Portland, a community that is known for their service to the houseless community. There's a lot of houseless people living in the streets in this neighborhood. So the proposal was basically a set of guidelines and flyers and a manual to show how the streets could be changed to be more comfortable for the people living in this situation during a pandemic, with really simple drawings and really simple proposals. How can we transform the city and the streets to make them more home-like in a way? So everyone, even if you don't have a house, have access to a restroom, to a shower, to a space to eat, to a space to rest. So those were the two projects.
Absolutely. And I think it goes without saying, but we will say it anyway, is that you are very inspiring to us all. And really, you know, more for my own self, I'm also inspired because what you're doing, which I embody a lot on my own as well, is really looking at problems in our society today. And through design and through relationships and really empowering community, it sounds like you're really trying to resolve some of those challenges, not just be somebody who's aware of it or acknowledging it, but a solution to many of those challenges through your efforts in design. And I think that is powerful. And I guess to conclude our interview, I'd love to know what comes next for you, Josie, and how can AFO be a part of supporting you, whatever your next ambitious endeavors are?
Yeah, I actually have no idea. I'm graduating, applying to some architecture positions in firms that I think align with the work that I've done so far or that are very service centered. I'm in a strange situation because I'm not from the US. So as an immigrant, in a sense, there are some difficulties of trying to stay in the US or going to another country. So still solving that, but whatever that future might be, I'm sure that I'm gonna find a way to continue to make my skills of use for people that don't have the privilege that I have to have studied a career in architecture. So whatever I can put my skills on with that in mind, then for me, it would be a great place to continue working.
Well, that's great to hear. And on behalf of the AFO family, which now you are a contributor to, we thank you for being responsive to our scholarship and for being this year's 2021 Hatfield Scholar. And so with that said, we want to thank you for your time today and for giving us this interview to kind of get to know you better. And we look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you very much, Nate. Thank you. Very nice meeting you.